Earlier this week, the F1 world was left saddened by the passing of Niki Lauda. According to his family, the three-time world champion passed away peacefully on Monday. He was a hero and inspiration to so many and will be deeply missed. Not only did he take 3 World Drivers' titles, 25 wins, 54 podiums and 24 pole positions, he also showed incredible inspirational courage and determination to get himself back into an F1 car just 40 days after his crash at the Nürburgring, which left him fighting for his life, a crash which saw him red at the last rites in hospital. For me, one of, if not the greatest sporting comebacks of all time. The respect I have for Niki Lauda is beyond words, quite frankly, and I think that will be echoed by many of you listening to this right now. I've already said this twice already, but he was an absolute inspiration, and we could all learn so much from him, one of my all-time heroes. Words like legend, inspiration, hero, they get thrown around so much these days, but he truly was all of those and so much more. Rest in peace, Niki. Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the preview for the 2019 Monaco Grand Prix. First off though, I will say apologies for the voice and any random noises you might hear during this video. Get your tiny violins out. I'm suffering with a bit of a cold and only just got my voice back, so please do bear with me this weekend. Now, it is probably the most famous circuit on the F1 calendar and a lot of hype gets built up around it. However, it can often fail to live up to that hype and we do tend to get a bit of a processional race come Sunday, and for the most part that was the case last year. It was very much the Red Bull show around the streets of Monte Carlo as Max Verstappen, who of course crashed out during FP3, had to start from the back of the grid but managed to make his way into the points. Some really good overtakes along the way as well. His teammate, Daniel Ricciardo, struggled with mechanical issues which saw him well down on power, but somehow the Aussie managed to defend his lead for around 50 laps and went on to take the win. The other big talking point, I guess, was Charles Leclerc crashing into the back of Brendan Hartley thanks to a brake failure, but post-race, both Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton described the race as the most boring ever. Not only did Daniel Ricciardo take the win, but he also took pole position on the Saturday with a lap time of a 1:10.810, and on Sunday he led home Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. His teammate Max Verstappen set the fastest lap with a 1:14.260 on lap 60, and there were a total of 17 finishers in the race with just 13 on the lead lap. As for the circuit itself, the track length is 3.337 kilometres, or if you would prefer, that's just over 2 miles. There are 19 corners around the streets of Monte Carlo, that is 8 to the left and 11 to the right, and there'll be 78 race laps on Sunday. Just the one DRS zone in Monaco, and that is down that start-finish straight, if we can call it a straight. And the race lap record is a 1:14.260, and that was set by Max Verstappen last year. The run from pole to the Turn 1 apex is 226.7 metres, and the total pit lane lost time at 60 kilometres an hour is 19.5 seconds. The highest lateral G comes in at 3.6 at turn 13, and drivers are at full throttle for just 34% of the lap. When it comes to overtaking, well, it's Monaco, so it's going to be tough wherever, but Mercedes say that turns 1 and 8 are the best spots. I would throw into that the Nouvelle Chicane, so turn 10 if you prefer, especially if you can get a good run out of Portier and through the tunnel, because it is possible to slither up the inside of another car. Mirabeau at turn 5 is possibly another good shout, but let's be honest, no move is going to be easy. So Monaco first appeared on the F1 World Championship calendar back in 1950, but has been ever present since 1955. So that's 65 races around the famous streets, and during that time, 34 different drivers have taken victory. Pole position is often key, of course, but the conversion rate, although still quite high, is actually lower than I expected, with the pole sitter going on to take victory on 29 occasions. The biggest win margin is a whole lap, and that has been achieved on 4 occasions, with the smallest margin being just over 0.2 of a second. The safety car, unsurprisingly, has appeared 25 times in total over the years and has featured at 13 races. And if you are interested, the fastest ever lap around the circuit was a 1:10.810, and that was Daniel Ricciardo, of course, on his way to pole position last year. As always, thank you to Lights Out Blog for providing some of the stats for this preview. If you are interested in a more in-depth look at some Monaco stats, make sure you check out their website and of course give them a follow over on Twitter. The tyre compounds available for this weekend are the softest, so that's the hard C3, the medium C4 and the soft C5. Pirelli are rating the tyre stress around Monaco at 1 out of 5, with asphalt grip being 1 and abrasion also 1. And when it comes to strategy, it will come as no surprise that one-stoppers tend to be the order of the day, as track position is absolutely massively important. So I would be very surprised if we see anything other than a one-stop race. Now that could change, of course, if we see some rain, and there have been 11 races affected by wet weather over the years. But according to the Met Office, it is set to be dry for practice on Thursday and qualifying on Saturday with around a 10% chance of rain. And the race is also set to be dry, but there is rain forecast for around 5 p.m. local time, so it might move forward and mix things up a little bit, although I feel like I'm clutching at straws there. And I will throw in at this point that there are some other forecasts claiming we could see rain on Saturday, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Let's have a look at some driver form quickly and then I'll make some predictions. Lewis Hamilton has finished every Monaco Grand Prix he's started and he's only failed to score once, and that was back in 2009 with 2 wins and 4 other podium finishes along the way. His teammate has struggled around Monaco over the years and has never finished on the podium, but he has only failed to finish once, and that was back in 2014. Could this be his year? Sebastian Vettel has scored more points than any other driver and has taken 2 wins around the streets. He has failed to finish the race twice, but when he has finished, he's never crossed the line lower than 5th. Surprisingly though, he only has 1 Monaco pole position to his name. His teammate of course crashed out last year, but it is Leclerc's home race, so I'm sure he will be eager to impress this year. Max Verstappen hasn't enjoyed the best form in Monaco with DNFs at his first 2 F1 appearances in the Principality, but he did finish 5th in 2017 and as I mentioned earlier made his way from 20th to 9th last year. Got a feeling a lot of eyes are going to be on him this weekend. Of course, Pierre Gasly has only had 1 F1 start in Monte Carlo but did score points with 7th last year for Toro Rosso. Away from the top 3, and Daniel Ricciardo has strong Monaco form with 4 podiums including that win last season, and his worst finish was 5th back in 2015. He did retire from his first 2 races there though. Kimi Raikkonen has had a mixed time at the famous circuit but did win back in 2005 and has also taken 3 podiums. He's grabbed 2 pole positions but has retired on 4 occasions. Robert Kubica finished 3 of his 4 Monaco Grand Prix appearances inside the top 5, with 2 podiums included in that. And Carlos Sainz has managed to score at all 4 of the races he started in Monaco, with 6th in 2017 his best finish. When it comes to predictions, I thought Red Bull would be a safe bet to do well in Monaco this season. However, having looked back at the Spanish Grand Prix last time out, and more specifically the pace of the Mercedes through the final sector, which of course contains a lot of slow corners as you'll know, this could potentially be a very strong weekend for the Silver Arrows. But I do think it will be between them and Red Bull for the win on Sunday, and probably pole on Saturday, as power does not really make all that much of a difference around Monaco. I'm going to be optimistic though and say that the run of 1-2 finishes will come to an end for Mercedes, with Max Verstappen taking pole and the win, but it will be close and this is probably more out of hope than expectation. But Max will have a point to prove after that FP3 crash last year, and let's face it, he has been in excellent form so far in 2019, so this could well be his weekend. On the podium, I think he's going to be joined by both the Mercedes boys, and as for Ferrari, I have my concerns for them, but I do really hope they could be in the mix this weekend. On to my one to watch, and I'm going to go with Charles Leclerc. Okay, yes, I know I've just said I'm not overly optimistic about Ferrari's chances this weekend, but it is his home Grand Prix and his first time around the famous streets driving that famous red Ferrari. He will also inevitably want to bounce back from that crash last year. Okay, not his fault, but he'll still be wanting to get that car home with a strong finish. Looking back over the last couple of years though, he's not really got good career form around Monaco. He had a double retirement back in 2017 whilst driving F2, and then of course he had his DNF last year, so perhaps he's got a point to prove in 2019. That is it then for the Monaco Grand Prix preview, and in the comment section down below you can let me know your thoughts and predictions ahead of this weekend. So who do you think will be on pole position, who's going to take the win, and which driver is your one to watch? Now, I will be back soon with more content as ever, but in the meantime you can follow me over on social media. Links to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and of course to Discord are all in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.